When asked to get the square of a binomial, we make use of the pattern quantity a plus b squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Say, expand quantity x plus 3 squared. Okay, let us first identify which one is a and which one is b. So here, our x is our a, and then, of course, 3 is our b. Simply make use of this pattern, okay, equals, our a is x, so get the square of x plus 2 times a, which is our x, times b, which is 3, plus the square of b, okay, the square of b, okay. So we have now x squared plus 2x times 3 is equal to 6x plus 3 squared is equal to 9. Or we can just do it like this. Get the square of x, then we have x squared. 2 times x times 3 is equal to 6x. Then get the square of 3, and that is equal to 9. Okay? It's quite easy, right? But if ever you can't remember this pattern, you can always go back to this idea of exponents. We have x plus 3 squared is equivalent to x plus 3 times x plus 3. So these are the factors of quantity x plus 3 squared. Then we make use of find method. X times x is equal to x squared. X times 3 is equal to positive 3x. 3 times x is equal to positive 3x, and 3 times 3 is equal to positive 9. Okay, we have like terms here, okay, so we can combine them. So we have x squared is equal to 3x plus 3x is equal to 6x, then just copy 9. Notice that we arrive at the same answer. Okay, so how about item number, the second item? Okay, we have 3x minus 7 squared. We're going to make use of the pattern. This is our a and this is our b. Okay, the square of a, so we have 3x. Okay, enclose it in a parenthesis. Okay, 3x squared plus we have 2 times our a, which is 3x. Then we have times b. Our b is negative 7. Okay. You consider the operation as the sign of the number. Then we have plus the square of negative 7. Okay. Then we simplify it now. We have 3x squared means 3 squared times x squared. So we have 3 squared is equal to 9. Then we have x squared. 2 times 3x is equal to 6x. 6x times negative 7 is equal to negative 42x. Then we have the square of negative 7 is positive 49. Okay? Negative 7 squared means negative 7 times negative 7, which is equal to positive 49. And again, if you cannot familiarize this step, you can always go back to the idea of FOIL method. So we have 3x minus 7 squared can be expressed as the product of 3x minus 7 times 3x minus 7. Okay? That is by product law. In product law, copy the common base, add exponents. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So they're just equal. Then we make use of FOIL method. 3x times 3x is equal to 9x. 3x times negative 7 is equal to negative 21x. Then negative 7 times positive 3x is negative 21x still. Negative 7 times negative 7 is equal to positive 49. Then we have now, okay, by the way, we lack squared here. Then we have 9x squared. We can combine this one. They're both negative, so we're going to add them. Then copy the common sign, which is negative. 21x plus 21x is equal to 42x plus 49. Okay? So still we arrive at the same answer, and I recommend you to use this rather than this because the process is quite lengthy. Now, what if we have a radical contained in a binomial? How are we going to do it? Same process will be followed. So, we have here quantity a plus b squared is equal to the square of the first term plus 2 times a times b. We have 2ab plus the square of the second term. So, we have b squared. Okay. This is our a and this is our b. So, we have the square of 4 plus 2 times the exponent. This is the exponent. The exponent 2 times 4 times the square root of x plus the square of the second term. Okay. Then we simplify now. We have 4 squared means 4 times 4, which is equal to 16, plus 2 times 4 is equal to 8. Then just copy square root of x. Then we all know that the index is 2 here, so we can just simplify 2. Okay, we have 2 divided by 2. It's 2 divided by 2. Okay, we all know that. Recall that square root of x is equal to x raised to 1/2. So once we are going to square it, the answer is x. So that's why we have here plus x. Okay, just erase this one. Okay, next we have now, can we add the terms here? Obviously not. We don't have like terms here, so therefore this is now the product of getting the square of this binomial. Okay? Again, you can make use of FOIL method if you find it difficult to make use of this pattern. Okay? So we have here 4 plus square root of x squared means 4 plus square root of x times 4 plus square root of x. Okay? It's 4 times 4 is equal to 16. You have 4 times square root of x is 4 square root of x. Plus here we have 4 square root of x, and square root of x times square root of x is equal to square root of x squared. Okay, when we multiply radicals, okay, we copy the common radical sign, then perform product law on the radicands. X times x is equal to x squared. Then we have now 16. 4 square root of x plus 4 square root of x are like terms, so we can add the numerical coefficients. So 4 plus 4 is equal to 8. Then just copy the common radical square root of x. Then we can simplify this one now. This is the numerator divided by the denominator. 2 divided by 2 is equal to x. Okay? So we arrive at the same answer. But I still prefer that you're going to make use of this pattern rather than this, because again, this is quite lengthy. Next, how about this? So we have the square of 3 plus 2 times 3 times, consider again the operation as the sign of the number. We have negative square root of 5x plus, okay, the square root of negative square root of 5x. Then we are going to square it. Okay, so we have 3 squared is equal to 9. 2 times 3 is equal to 6 times negative square root of 5x. So we have negative 6 square root of 5x. Okay. Remember, students, when multiplying integers with radicals, okay, we multiply integers to integers, radical to a radical. So in this case, pwede lang natin ma-multiply ang 2 at saka 3, tsaka negative 1 here, and then just copy square root of 5x. Okay. Then we have now the square of negative is positive. Then we have 2 divided by 2 here. So what's left now is equal to 5x. Nare-remove yung ating radical na square root. Okay. So this is now our answer. Make sure to remember the skills review as we progress to our lesson on equations transformable to quadratic equations. And for this, we have the learning target. I can solve radical equations transformable to quadratic equations. Okay. Let's try item number 1 with square root of 2x minus 1 is equal to 2 minus square root of x. Okay. So how do we find the values of x here? First is we are going to make sure to isolate only one radical to either sides of the equation. And notice here that we have square root of 2x minus 1 is already isolated on the left side. When we say isolated, siya lamang ang mag-isang makikita sa left side at wala na siyang ibang kasama pang number or variable. Okay? So, next step is to eliminate the radical sign on the left side, square both sides of the equation. Okay. Square both sides of the equation. Bakit kailangan nating square ang both sides? Kasi ang aim natin is matanggal ang radical sign ng radical na 2x minus 1. Okay. Now, recall that, okay, we have square root of a can be written as a raised to 1/2. And if you're going to square this radical, mean to say we're going to square this expression also, so we have now a by applying power law. Okay? So that is the very reason why we need to square this radical. So what is done in the left side should also be done on the right side. Okay? So, matatanggal na ito. So what's left here now is 2x minus 1. And then we're going to get the square of this binomial, 2 minus square root of x. Okay? So, please recall the skill that I had taught you a while ago. So, we have 2 squared plus the exponent 2 times the two terms a and negative square root of x. 2 times 2 times negative square root of x plus the square of the second term. We have negative square root of x. Okay? And then, we are going to simplify. You have 2x minus 1. 2 squared is equal to 4. 2 times negative 1 is equal to negative 4 times square root of x. Then, the square of negative 1 is equal to positive 1. And the square root of x squared is equal to x. Okay? So, we have x here. Okay? That means 1x or x. And then, next step is, we are going to combine like terms and simplify. Okay, so we have 2x minus x. Okay, transpose this x. That's why we have negative x here. When we have minus 1, then we have minus 4. So notice that we only have one radical left on the right side. Okay, so we have 2x minus x is equal to x. Negative 1 minus 4 is equal to negative 5. We have negative 4 square root of x. Okay, next step is square both sides again because we still have here a radical. Okay, so our goal is to come up with a quadratic equation. So dito wala pa tayong quadratic equation. So, square both sides again to remove the radical sign on the right side. So, square this binomial. So, we have the square of x. Okay. This time, let's do it mentally. You have the square of x is x squared. 2 times x times negative 5 is equal to negative 10x. And the square of negative 5 is equal to positive 25. The square of negative 4 is positive 16, and the square of x is equal to x. Okay? Next is, we're going to combine like terms again. Notice that we have now a quadratic term, a linear term, and a constant term. And write this equation in the standard form, to say equate it to 0. So we have now x squared minus 10x minus 16x plus 25 equals 0. Okay? So we have x squared minus 26x plus 25 is equal to 0. Okay, then notice that this quadratic equation can be solved by factoring. Okay, let us now solve it by factoring. Okay, so we have now the factors of x squared are x times x, and the factors of 25 when added, the sum is negative 26 are negative 25 and negative 1. Okay? Now, paano mo nalaman na pare-pawang negative? Kasi nga, negative ang ating sign na middle term or linear term, and then the product is positive. So only two negative numbers when multiplied yield to a positive product. Okay. Then we apply now the zero product property. You have x minus 25 is equal to 0. You have x minus 1 is equal to 0. Then you have now x is equal to 25 and x is equal to 1. Let us now check whether each value of x here is a solution to this equation or not by substituting each to the equation. Let's start with x equals 25. Okay, let's substitute 25 to the equation. So you have 2 times x is 25 minus 1 is equal to 2 minus square root of 25. You have 2 times 25 is equal to 50 minus 1 is equal to 2 minus square root of 25 is 5. You have now square root of 50 minus 1 is equal to 49. And we have 2 minus 5 is equal to negative 3. What is the square root of 49? The square root of 49 is 7. 7 is not equal to negative 3. So therefore, 25 is not a solution to this equation, and we call this as an extraneous root. Okay? The value of x will not make the equation true. How about if we have x equals 1? So we have here, let's write it here, x is equal to 2 times x is 1 minus 1 is equal to 2 times square root of 2 minus square root of 1. So we have square root of 2 times 1 is equal to 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. You have 2 minus square root of 1 is equal to 1. What is the square root of 1? 1. Then what is 1 minus 1? It is equal to 1. So therefore, x is equal to 1 is a solution. So the only solution of this equation is x is equal to 1. Okay? The solution is x equals 1. Okay. That's it. So for practice, kindly answer this item. Pause this video for a while, then play it when done. So let's check. So first is we are going to isolate square root of 2y plus 1 on this side. Okay. So obviously here it's not yet isolated. So what we are going to do is transpose y on the right side. So we have now square root of 2y plus 1 is equal to 7 minus y. And then we square both sides. Okay. So we can eliminate the radical sign here. So we have 2y plus 1 is equal to the square of 7. Okay, the square of 7 plus 2 times y times negative 7. 2 times 7 times negative y plus the square of negative y. But if you can do it mentally, you may not undergo this process anymore. So you have 2y plus 1 is equal to 7 squared means 7 times 7, which is equal to 49. 2 times 7 times negative 1 is equal to negative 14y. Then the square of negative y, that means negative y times negative y, so we have positive y squared. And then we combine now like terms since we already have here a quadratic term. Okay, so we just equate or write 0 here. So we have y squared minus 14y transpose positive 2y, so we have negative 2y. You have plus 49, then transpose we have negative 1. So what we have now here is 0 is equal to y squared minus 16y plus 48. Now we think of factors of 48 when added the sum is negative 16, so we have 12 and negative 12 and negative 4. So mean to say this equation can be solved by factoring. You have the factors of y squared are y times y, and the factors of 48 when added the sum is equal to negative 16 is r. We have negative 12 and negative 4. Then we apply the zero product property by equating each factor to 0. Y minus 12 is equal to 0. And we have y minus 4 is equal to 0. So we have y is equal to 12 here and y is equal to 4. Very easy. Let us check if each value of y will make this equation true. Let's start with y equals 12. So you have substitute 12 to each y here. So we have 2 times 12 plus 1 plus 12, another y, is equal to 7. Okay. So you have 2 times 12 is equal to 24 plus 1 plus 12 equals 7. We have 24 plus 1 is equal to 25. So square root of 25 is equal to 5 plus 12 equals 7. So you have 17 is not equal to 7. So therefore, y equals 12 is not a solution. Therefore, this is an extraneous root. Okay? An extraneous root. Use root. Okay? Not a solution. A value of y that will not make this equation true. Then how about y equals 4? So we have square root of 2 times 4 plus 1 plus our y is 4 is equal to 7. You have 2 times 4 is equal to 8 plus 1 is equal to square root of 9, and the square root of 9 is equal to 3. Plus 4 is equal to 7. 3 plus 4 is equal to 7 equals 7. So therefore, we only have one solution, and that is y equals 4. The solution is, okay, 4. That's it. For item number 2, pause this video again, then play it when done. So let's check. Now notice that square root of 2y plus 1 is not isolated here. So we have to transpose negative square root of y to the right side. Okay? Because we have to make sure that there is only one radical on either side of the equation. And we opted to have 2y plus 1 to be isolated on this side. So you have 1 plus square root of y. And then we square both sides. So we can eliminate the radical sign here. So what's left here is 2y plus 1 is equal to, we're going to expand this binomial. So we have the square of 1 is 1 plus 2 times 1 is 2 times square root of y. We have 2 square root of y. Then the square root of the square root of y is equal to y. If you cannot do this one mentally, then you can make use of the FOIL method. Okay, then we have a radical left here. So what we are going to do is transpose 1 and y to the left side so we can isolate 2 square root of y. So we have here 2y transpose, we have negative y plus 1, then we have minus 1 is equal to 2 square root of y. 2y minus y is equal to y, and 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. Then we have 2 square root of y. Then, to remove the radical sign here, we're going to square both sides again to 2. So we have y squared, the square of y is y squared. Then we have the square of 2 is equal to 4. Then the square root of y is equal to y. Then we are going to write this one in standard form. So we have y squared transpose, we have negative 4y is equal to 0. Now, these two terms here have something in common, and that is y. The common factor is y. So we have y squared divided by y is y, and negative 4y divided by y is negative 4. Equals 0. Then after that, we apply the zero product property. We have now y is equal to 0. Then we have y minus 4 is equal to 0. Then y is equal to 4. Now let us check whether each equation will make the equation true. So let's start with y equals 0. So we have the square root of, okay, square root of 2 times 0 plus 1. Always look at or refer to the equation. Okay. Minus square root of 0 is equal to 1. You have now 2 times 0 is 0. Then we have plus 1. So we have 1. Minus, what is the square root of 0? That is 0 is equal to 1. What is the square root of 1? 1 is equal to 1. So indeed, y is equal to 0 is a solution. How about y is equal to 4? So we have square root of 2 times 4 plus 1 minus square root of 4 is equal to 1. So we have 2 times 4 is equal to 8 plus 1 is equal to 9, and the square root of 9 is equal to 3. Then, yeah, what is the square root of 4? The square root of 4 is equal to 2 is equal to 1. 3 minus 2 is equal to 1, then 1 is equal to 1. So therefore, we have two solutions here, and the solutions are 0 and 4. So the solutions are 0 and 4. So always check the solution. Okay, you can just make use of a calculator to verify all your answers. Okay, so for submission, kindly answer set C items 1 and 2.